Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. How did you like our sourdough episode, guys? Did you find something useful? Did you learn something new and interesting about this ancient food, bread, this ancient fermentation technology, sourdough? Did you maybe decide to change some of your eating habits? Did you decide to explore some local bakeries that can give you a try of some good sourdough? Maybe you decided to experiment with regular bread and sourdough bread and bread-like products, because as we learned in that podcast that you can tune in, it was our previous episode. As we learned, you can make a lot of different things from sourdough, like Belgian waffles. Today, guys, we are continuing to talk partly about our microbiome, our all these bugs that do this fermentation, digestion work with us, for us. We'll also continue talking about food combinations, food combining, and our digestive health. Because our digestive health, guys, it's related to a lot of other functions of our body, a lot of other aspects of our health, like our immune health or how much energy we have, gut health, digestive health. It is related to every aspect of our health, because that's our digestion. That's where we get our nutrients or we don't get. That's where we get our poisons or don't get them. That's where 90% of our immune system is concentrated, because that's where external environment in the form of food comes into our internal environment. So digestive processes, digestive health, gut health are very important for every other function of our body, every other aspect of our health. And guys, not combining our food well for our digestion, for our human digestion, that will rob us of energy, because a lot of more of it will go into digestion. The less we combine foods well, the more energy it will require for our body to digest foods. Also, the more chances there are that we're going to trigger our immune system with some responses to all these different chemicals that might be produced due to poor digestion. That is a result of poor food combinations. So when we do not combine our foods well, and our modern food system does not promote good food combining in any sense, again, we get less energy, we get less health, we get less digestive, less gut health, and we make our immune system to work harder on things that should be easy, where our immune system could be working on protecting us from viruses like COVID-19 or other, from infectious diseases, from different bacteria. Now our immune system also has to deal with analyzing so many more substances that are a result of poor digestion of different improper combinations of food. So the better we combine our foods for our human digestion, the more energy we're going to have, the more empowered immune system we're going to have, and the less problems we're going to experience during our digestion and after our meals and with our gut health. So guys, what is good food combining? Well, number one, if you have in any of your food products a lot of different ingredients, then guys, there is a big chance that a lot of those ingredients were not meant to be combined together. This is a problem with foods that have a lot of ingredients, even though they might not be proven to be bad for human beings. Well, at least not now. The problem with all these long ingredient lists, be that vegan or not vegan, is that those ingredients might not be okay by themselves, and they might be in some studies that prove that those ingredients are not harmful. But when you combine tens of those ingredients together, nobody tests those combinations. Like if you take any product where you have a lot of ingredients, yeah, each ingredient might be an okay ingredient by itself, But nobody tests all these countless combinations. And so what exactly happens when you ingest that product with all these combinations, impossible combinations? That's how I would call most of the vegan products instead of impossible burgers and stuff. So anyhow, when you combine all these ingredients, you just never know what's going to happen in your digestive system, because our digestive system was not designed for that amount of different ingredients all mixed together. But besides those foods with many ingredients, we also, as a society, lost connection with proper combinations of whole foods that benefit our digestion or that make our digestion worse. Like, we don't know anymore what to combine with what. And because we can combine anything with everything else in one meal, that would never happen in nature or like 100 years ago. Because of that, because we can combine anything with everything, because we don't pay attention to that anymore, our digestive health, our gut health keeps deteriorating, and we keep having all these digestive issues and gut microbiome issues, and we don't have energy, and we have all these other conditions and diseases and sensitivities that might not have happened if we learn how to combine food properly. Like, one of the really popular food combinations in our society is starch plus protein, like French fries and chicken wings, or potatoes and steak, or fish and chips, or pasta and meatballs, or pizza with cheese or some meat on top of it. All of this are really bad combinations. Starch plus protein, they kind of like cancel each other when it comes to digestion. So one needs one environment, the other needs another. And when you combine them together, yeah, they're going to be digested, but it's going to take probably twice or more as much time and energy for them to get through your system. Plus, some of them going to be fermented, some of them going to be just rotting in our gut, producing different chemicals and poisons that are not beneficial for our health, not just digestive, but overall health. So it's not enough to eat whole foods. It's also a must to combine them well. So starch and protein. When it comes to starch, starchy foods are potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, peas, corn, cooked carrots, cooked beets, even things like cauliflower, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. They are a little bit starchy, yeah. Then let's say things like spinach or collard greens or kale. So if you have really sensitive digestion and it might have been compromised by many years of improper eating, you might even stay away from those kind of combinations like broccoli and steak. Maybe broccoli and fish would work a little bit better, because, another thing about food combining, protein foods are really complex. And so different kinds of proteins, ideally you would eat them separately. So you would never combine eggs and fish. By the way, I'm guilty of that, and I am working on that, actually experimenting a lot with consuming just one kind of protein at a meal. So do not combine steak with eggs or fish with eggs. Another aspect of proper food combining to simplify the work for your digestive system and also for your immune system and for your gut bugs. But the worst combination, guys, again, that you need to stay away from, and those are things like beans and any sort of meat, or beans and cheese, or dairy products in general. Probably one of the most complicated foods nature created, and it's really hard for a digestive system to deal with it alone, but when combined with other complex proteins or starch, it becomes really, really difficult. And it's gonna translate for you into less energy, more digestive issues, more gut issues, different autoimmune conditions, and God knows what else. So besides starch and protein that we shouldn't be combining together, again, it's starchy foods are beans, corn, peas, potatoes, sweet potatoes, cooked carrots and beans, cooked carrots and beets. All of these are not well combined with meat, fish, eggs, dairy products, but also things like nuts and seeds that are also quite complicated food. And you wouldn't even add a lot of fat on top of that. Like you wouldn't pour a lot of butter or olive oil. A little bit, yeah, fine, but not a lot. But again, the worst combination, starch and protein. And by the way, guys, a lot of diets that are really popular these days because they ease digestion for a lot of people. A lot of diets like keto or vegan and other diets that exclude a lot of food. So a lot of those diets make people feel better, might make you feel better because you eliminate those starch plus protein combinations. So you either a vegan and you eat your beans with other vegetables, or you either keto and you don't consume starch in the first place. And so here you go. You make your food combining better. And because of that, sorry for the interruption, guys. There is some noise, but we're gonna continue. Anyhow, so a lot of these diets, guys, they eliminate these worst combinations of foods, and that's why a lot of you are feeling better. Not because of carbs or because animal protein is bad by itself, but because you start to combine foods better. Some of the other combinations, improper combinations that cause a lot of problems, either for your metabolism or your digestive system, are carbohydrates, high carbohydrate foods, and high protein foods. And for example, that can be the same. Well, starch and protein we already talked about, but that can also be some sort of sugar with your protein, maybe like a protein bar, or some sort of fruit and protein-rich food. So that is not a good combination either. By the way, guys, fruit by itself, it's a food that is digested the fastest, the easiest, and fruit does not combine well with anything but fruit itself. And even in the category of fruit, if you want to get really deep into the science of food combining, it's not advised to combine super sweet fruit like papayas or mangoes or dates or bananas or persimmons with sour fruit like plums or sour cherries, or things like lemons, limes, grapefruits, or oranges. So this acidic fruit does not combine well with sweet fruit like bananas. So that's and by the way, guys, fruit and nuts trail mix, not a good combination. Fruit and high fat, not a good combination. High carb, high fat, not a good combination. So pizza, pasta with some fatty sauce, not a good combo. When it comes to nuts, especially peanuts, they are best eaten by themselves, and usually based on fat content, you combine nuts separately. So for example, macadamia nuts or Brazil nuts, they are combined well together because of their higher fat content. But things like cashews might not be the best combination with macadamia nuts. Maybe they're best combined with things like pistachios that are a little bit high carby. Peanuts, for example, they are legumes, not nuts really. They are best eaten alone. So if you have problems digesting peanuts, you might try to eat them alone. And alone, guys, by themselves means either on an empty stomach, or if you eat a protein-rich meal with meat or something like that that usually takes a few hours to digest, you would probably need to wait for a few hours before eating peanuts to say that you eat them separately, because again, a lot of foods, especially protein-rich foods, they are digested for quite a few hours. My personal lesson and experiment that I've been doing for a week already is not combining acid with protein that is also proven to be highly not beneficial for our digestion. So what do I mean by that combination? Adding a lot of lemon into my salads with sardines, or on top of tuna or salmon, or to my meat dishes. And of course, not consuming any oranges with those meals, but that was not my problem. So since I stopped adding lemons to my high protein meals, my digestion actually improved quite a lot. For me, it was not having, your stomach a little bit bloated, full of, gas or whatever that might be. So that completely disappeared. And I also feel much more energetic after my meals. So no lemon and protein for me. And another one, consuming chocolate, dark chocolate that I absolutely love without any sugar, separately with maybe a cup of mint tea, peppermint tea. That's another one, because chocolate is also a complex food. The high fat, that is better to be eaten alone, or, maybe like at least an hour after your main meal. Again, the worst possible combinations are starchy foods plus protein, your potato and steak, or potatoes and fish, or sweet potatoes and fish, or corn and peas and beans with any sorts of protein-rich foods. Dairy products, by the way, guys, especially milk, milk should not be on the menu on anyone who is interested in proper digestion. Seriously, guys. But yogurts and other naturally fermented products, fermented by bacteria with live bacteria, they're a little bit different, much easier for digestion, because the bacteria does the digestion for us. So no added sugars in that, because sugars are also a quite different food that is best not added to our foods, but also not combined, especially with protein-rich foods. So yogurts, if you need to have something in your yogurt, like if you absolutely have to have something, subacid or acid fruit, kind of fruit, that probably not that bad. So for example, plain yogurt with some berries, or maybe with like pieces of pineapple, or again, something like acid or subacid. Berries are probably the best. Combined with yogurts, not that bad. Also, they say that cheese, natural cheeses and nuts, not a bad combination either, but alone, separate from other foods. So again, the worst possible combos: high carb, high protein, especially starch plus protein, but then also protein and any kind of sugar, like maybe protein bar with with a lot of dried fruit or a lot of added sugar, not a good combo. Or maybe some protein smoothie or protein shake with high amount of protein, high amount of sugar. So not a good combo. Fruit and nuts, not a good combo. Fruits should be eaten separately. Carbs and a lot of fat, like for example, ice cream, not a good combo. Dairy products in general should be eaten alone, and milk should not be consumed, preferably at all. Like fermented foods, fermented dairy like yogurts might be an okay option. So fruit alone, nuts alone. Make sure for the best digestion to combine really fatty nuts with really fatty nuts, and not so fatty nuts like cashews with not so fatty nuts like pistachios. Peanuts best to be eaten alone. What I'm experimenting with, no acid, like lemon juice, with my proteins like fish or meat, or sardines, salmon, tuna. And the last but not least, make sure that you don't consume foods with a lot of ingredients, because a lot of those ingredients were tested not to be super bad for human beings. At least they don't kill us right away, but nobody tested all these combinations that actually people consume in all these products. Just be aware of that and make sure that you consume products with the least complicated ingredient list. So that's it for today, guys. And again, remember that it's worth it to combine your foods well, because that will improve your digestive health. That will improve your gut health. That will improve how well your immune system works, because 90% of our immune system is in our gut. That will improve how much energy you have after your meals and for your whole day, and how well you sleep, and how much sleep you need, and how much easier it is for you to maintain and lose weight. All of that is related to food combining. So at least the basics, guys: simple products, no starch and protein, dairy alone, fruit alone, nuts alone, no high carb, high protein, no high fat, high carb. At least practice that, and don't, overcomplicate it, and experiment it for a week. Maybe next week, figure out how to combine your meals better and see what happens. And if you need any help, any advice, any tips, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you out with that. Stay tuned for my blog that I'm going to be writing and releasing this Sunday, all about food combining. Also stay tuned for content on my Instagram and TikTok for food combining related content, and also for immune eating. Share this episode with another person who might be struggling with their autoimmune conditions, digestive issues, gut issues, weight loss, energy, sleep. Digestion is related to every aspect of our health. That's why it's so important to optimize it. So share this episode, experiment, figure out how to make your digestion better, because that will give you more energy, will improve every aspect of your health, and will make you feel awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have an awesome weekend. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.